Hey guys, it's Brad here for Brad and Stu's Fancy Podcast. What's up, Stu?
Hey guys, here for episode 2.
Yeah, I think today we're going to talk about divisions. Our good old commissioner, Sam, went ahead and put the divisions out there, and me and Stu can have an argument today. I'm in Division 1. I think my division's the easiest. Stu's in Division 2. He thinks his division's the easiest. So we're going to go see what happens and who's better. I mean, Stu, why do you think your division?
Well, before we get started with that, actually, Brad, let's do a little news and note. There's not much right now, but one of the biggest ones right now is Le'Veon Bell. He did not work out a deal. Apparently, wasn't even close, and they offered him like $70 million for 5 years, which to that
it was a ridiculous amount for running back.
Yeah, it's like $14,000 a year.
Yeah, he would have been top paid. Good for the Steelers not offering him any more money. He says he must be paid more than what a running back is, but when you're a running back, that's what you get paid.
Yeah, I mean, at $14,000 a year, he would still get more than what any other running back is getting right now. Like most is like 8 and 9, I think. So
yeah. Well, the good news for us fantasy owners is Le'Veon Bell is usually around for the fantasy playoffs. But for Steelers fans, he's usually not around for the actual playoffs. So
yeah,
that's probably a reason why how's they going to go. But with him not getting the deal done, they say he's going to go ahead. He is going to play Week 1. Does this change your fantasy stock at all with him?
For me personally, no. Last year he was actually not in shape for Week 1, and that was part of the turmoil in the first week, not getting many touches. This year it looks like he stayed a lot more in shape and seems to be ready to go right now. So I don't see him slacking off. He's going to now have to prove himself even more if he ends up going to another team. So I think he's going to continue to try to put as much effort as he can.
Yes. Personally, I had Gurley ranked 1, Bell 2. But with this news, to be honest with you, I put Bell 1 and the 5 because he's not going to play in the preseason. He's not going to be doing a lot in the training camp. The risk of him getting injured is so compared to. I want that. I know day 1, game 1, I have a healthy Bell. Yeah, if he's not that good week 1 and not so great week 2, I can handle that. Knowing that I got him for basically the rest of the season fully healthy with a fresh start and fresh legs. Whereas Gurley is going to go through the grinds of training, everything else. He's going to get a lot of hits on his pads. He's going to get hit in preseason. And, I'll take the fresh legs every time, especially with running back.
The only concern I'm feeling a little bit on Bell is the fact if the Steelers at the end of the season during playoffs decide to put him back to not give him as much reps, especially if they're not close to winning, to not give him as much chance to shine so that he doesn't look quite as tempting to other teams.
I understand that. But I don't think they'll do it. I think they knowingly know they will not re-sign him, and they're going to run that man into the ground this year. Just like Julio Jones, which is another person who did not get their contract done. Atlanta says they will not restructure his deal. He's a free agent after this. I'm big on Julio. I think they're going to run that man to the ground this season. He's going to have a career year, and then some team's going to overpay for him because he'll be 30 after next season. And he's going to start, and he'll be getting paid way too much money for what.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree at all with Julio. Got to worry.
If it ends up being Bell, running back, and wide receiver this year, I will not be surprised. Both in contract years, they want to make that money. That's the best time to have top talent is in a contract.
Only thing about Julio, you want to make sure to have one of his backups or someone for him. Ridley, yeah, I agree. But is amazing, can do crazy things. They are going to try to run him into the ground, and he has proven time after time he does get worn down at the midway point or at the end of the season. So,
do you know what the difference between Julio Jones and any wide receiver gets ranked above him in fantasy?
What's that?
Is the touch. And touchdowns are so. Because usually, Julio hit pay dirt. I remember that one year with Calvin Johnson where he kept getting tackled at the darn 1 yard line.
Mm-hmm. Well, last year, you can ask me, Rod, and even you.
The yards were there.
How did you feel about Julio? I mean, you had the one good week out of him, but most of the time he was still getting 5, 6, 7 points, just not your Julio Jones points you were expecting. Yeah. And it was all
You're
going
to get points from Julio.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're going to get your points from Julio no matter what. The one thing I like is some people say it's not consistent, but I know you're not going to get those negative games out of Julio. You're always going to get those, usually double-digit points at least. I mean, at least 100 yards receiving or 90 yards receiving, and that's his floor. Where some players, that's their ceiling. So,
and I agree.
I'll take that any day of the week.
That's consistency that he provides, but again, his price tag at round 1 is not what I'm wanting to pay. Now, you at 9, sure, why not? But I think you could probably swoop around and get him at 2.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be there. I think at the turn, he could be, but not for 9. He will not be there at the turn. He'll be swooped up for AJ Green or anybody else. So somebody will get a.
I agree.
And they'll want that top tier wide receiver to pair with them.
Oh yeah,
So that's where I'm in a conundrum. So, but
Lubbock is not going to let you have him no matter what.
I think the news with Julio and Le'Veon Bell, the contract's not getting done, is a good thing. How do you feel about it?
I agree. They've come with their own risk and reward. They might be so hot at some point in the middle of the season, you might be really lucrative to trade them away, and so that might be an option at some point.
Get a haul.
Mm-hmm. So
everybody's trading.
Well, everybody at some point figures out, I want to give away 2 or 3 guys for one guy. Well, sometimes in the middle of the season, it's a little better to give someone that's on fire, trade them away for a couple of pieces to secure your team, especially if you're on a win streak.
Oh, yeah, especially. I agree. Yeah. Divisions, Stu.
Yes, sir. We're on to divisions.
So Division 1 is made up of Mo, Day Dixon, Rod, and Sam. And your divisions, who's in that?
We have Adam Shepard, Matt Shepard, Kaprovic, Lovick, and our current champion, Vince.
Okay. And before we get any further into divisions, I want to do a head. So, the last 5 seasons, you've been in the playoffs 3 times out of 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. 4 times out of 5 seasons. Now, I found out why you're not 5 for 5, Stu. And this is my fancy fun fact of the very first year you came in, you missed the playoffs. You were in purgatory. Your team name was My Little Pony.
It was.
Last year, you changed your team name, The Return of My Little Pony, and you, sir, were again in purgatory. I think the Bundy hates ponies.
Is it ponies specifically or bronies?
I think it's My Little Pony specific. I think, if anything, you should have a team name that's the opposite of a pony. Like, I don't know, the Geckos.
The Geckos? What about the Fantas?
Oh, you know what? That would be a good one.
We will see. The Fantasy Fantas. That's awful. No. Mm-mm. We'll see what the team name comes this year. It'll be interesting. So,
but if there's anything that's pony, well, you'll be somewhere purgatory involved.
Well, in Division 2 alone, There are 5 Bundys in Division 2.
Yes. You have Vince with 2, Adam with 2, and Love.
Yeah, that is. It's not intimidating. Another fun fact: Division 2 also has 3 people that were in the Dildo Bowl last year, or in the Dildo playoffs.
Well, here's the fun thing. Okay, there's only one Bundy champion in Division 1, and that's me.
Mm-hmm.
And well, here's the thing with last places though. I kind of wanted to look at last places. In Division 1, we have 3 last place finishes. Rod and Sam did it twice. In Division 2, you only have 1, because Cobra finished last once.
Twice.
And that's because 2 previous... No, just 1.
Oh, yeah.
Because 2 of the previous Dildo winners are no longer with us in the last 5 years.
Yeah, Kaprovic, I'm thinking the second
one.
Yeah,
Cobra did do it twice. Yeah, he won the very first year. But just the last 5...
Yeah.
We went to a 10-team league.
Yeah.
And then 12. Copro's only done it once the last 5 years. So yeah, he does have 2, technically, and he does like carpet pickles, but we let that go because the man has twins.
Well, all those carpet pickles, that'll get you twins.
It makes you fertile.
It does. Very.
But I wanted to look at the teams that we have in each division and how many times each team has been to the playoffs. Division 1, their teams have been to the playoffs 14 times in the last 5 seasons. Division 14 times in the last 5 seasons. Just a top. So I was like, Stu, I'm going to go even deep. Who had the top scoring week last 5 seasons? And what division were they in? Like, who has the biggest scorer guys in the per season? Well,
Dixon.
You want to take a guess? Dixon did it once. He did it in 2016. Can you guess? There's only 3 of them. 3 people in 5 seasons. That.
Rodney.
So you have Dixon. Can you guess the other one? Rodney's the other one. 2015.
And I believe one of the other one's you.
It is me. 3 times. 2013, 2014, 2017.
Yeah.
So that means all 3 of us are in Division 1. And all 3 of us hold the record for a season of scoring the most points.
Well, you got to admit, that was impressive.
Me, that doesn't bode well for my argument of Division 1 being easier.
No.
And then so I was like, well, we need to go a little bit more further into. We need to have who's the top scorer overall. Like, who owned the regular season points? Lovick did it twice. He's in your division. 2015 to 2016. I did it 3 times. Again, same years, 13, 14, 17. So if I have the biggest score guys, I'm more likely, according to history, I'm going to lead the league in scoring. So that's a tie. Division 1, Division 2, both own some. So after really thinking about it, I've come to the conclusion it's an even draw. I think both divisions are just as difficult because I think Division 1 might be a little bit more difficult in the regular season. I think Division 2, with all them, is going to be the most difficult.
I don't disagree. Each division has their stronger members. We have our weaker members. But what I'm really going to say here, I think Division 1 is harder than Division 2, just by a slight margin, and there's a special person that makes it that way. It's Michael Day. Because he is one of the luckiest sons of bitches in the entire world.
That man swallowed a 4-leaf clover as a child and still had.
Oh, it's sprouting from his dick, like constantly, right from the belt buckle, because freaking none of us were gonna pick Ty Montgomery, pick number 2.
Oh, he didn't either.
Yeah, he didn't even know who it was.
Dude,
yeah, I mean, Kareem Hunt. He had Spencer Ware and Kareem Hunt. Yeah, no, just then he traded for Alvin Kamara in the middle of the season, and then has one of the best rookie seasons. Picks.
That still makes me sick. I still have nightmares.
Yeah, you should, because you did exactly what Rod or Lubbock did to you the year before, and pretty much just handed you the best quarterback. Oh, Vince did it. Handed you the best quarterback in the entire league. And then you beat him with that quarterback. So, I mean, yeah. It's Michael Day is we're not all sure if he's good or lucky, but
don't trade with Michael Day. You'll lose the trade. Something will happen where you lose it.
So I'm going to give it to Division One. I'm going to say that it's just a little bit harder.
Okay, you say Division One's a little bit harder. I call it an even draw. Yeah, so that's our division talk. But I want to throw a curveball to you, Stu.
Yep.
I wanted to bring in the first episode of the Fantasy Grinder. Which is the most important position in fantasy football. The kicker, obviously. So who is your, like, you walk away from the draft. I think everybody feels a little comfortable when they have the kicker they want at the end. Something feels good by getting that guy at the very end goes, yep, that's the kicker. Who's your guy when you come after a draft, historically, that you want to be your guy moving forward? I know Sam's Justin Tucker, man. We got a lot of people who are Gostkowski, man. What is your kicker?
I mean, I had him last year, and I was not disappointed in the slightest. Justin Tucker won me plenty of weeks. 16 points from a kicker is absurd.
For years, I always had Stephen Hopkins, but he left Seattle. So I moved on to Will Lutz in New Orleans. But I tell you what, Stu, I cheated on him. I cheated on Will with Jake Elliott, the kicker of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I got to tell you, he's my favorite for the 2018 season.
Well, they had Gronkowski, is that how you say his last name, for the Patriots. And he got week after week after week of 10 points or 20 points a lot of weeks too. He's got to be one of the best kickers in the league. Now, do I suggest that everybody go out and try to, bump a bunch of rounds early for a kicker? Probably not.
Yes, they need to do that. Yes, they should. It's good fantasy. They should take a quarterback early and a kicker early and a defense early. Probably from the first 3 rounds.
We should also not take Le'Veon Bell until after pick 9, and then see if he makes it to you, because you'll bite the bullet for the entire league, right?
Well, only for Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean,
Le'Veon Bell, I would do that.
You're the Mother Teresa of our fantasy football league.
I'm not saying I'm a saint, but
I'm saying it for you. The saint of assholes is what you are.
Yeah. Well, when you win a championship back in 2014,
never forget. Never forget.
Never forget.
You're like the North of fantasy football. The North never forgets. Like, golly.
Yeah, but I'm as knowing as LeVar Ball, so that's just a wonderful.
Monte Ball, round 1. Sounds like a deal, right? He's somewhere in the league, right? Yeah, he's somebody's backup's backup in the Canada league.
I don't know why I would take Monte when Tyler Lockett or Cole Beasley. Oh, Cole Beasley's still there.
Hey, you got the Beasles, Don. You can't cure that easily.
Well, Stu, I mean, We've talked about Le'Veon Bell. We've talked about Julio. We've talked about the division. And you still think my division's a little bit harder to see easier. You also think, I think, that's all I got for our episode today. Anything else you got?
I think that's it for now, guys. We will probably be back with you here in a couple of weeks as the draft draws near. We might even have a live episode that might be coming in the works. So.